I have not watched Moana 2 yet, but I did watch the first Moana movie. By the time of this video, I haven't watched Moana 2 yet. Might change. I think I'll figure I'm gonna give it a watch and see what's going on with it. But I did watch the first Moana movie. I thought it was nice. I didn't have a problem with it, but it was cool. Okay. So the second Moana movie has apparently already made over $1 billion. Let's check out numbers here and see. Yeah, in the domestic box office, it made over 444 million. International 567 million. So worldwide, it's made over $1 billion. Yeah, so it is a success. It's made a lot of money. It's actually done really well. I've heard people talk about it. Some people complain about all this singing in it. Somebody said that they didn't remember so much singing in it, right? But it is a musical, so you will get that. I gotta say, but I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it. So yeah, it looks like, Moana 2 is a hit. But did Disney rip off Moana? I know what you're thinking. That's probably a really stupid thing for me to say. Except maybe they kind of did. Let me explain. Going to this article here, right from the New York Post. Disney sued for $10 billion over Moana. Moana writer's lawsuit cites breathtaking similarities to his script and claims he was prodded for content. Now, what does all of this mean, you may ask? Well, a filmmaker is suing the Walt Disney Company for copyright infringement, claiming that the media conglomerate's hit movies Moana and Moana 2 copied substantial parts of a script he wrote. The lawsuit filed by Bucky Woodall in California federal court claims the Disney films exhibit breathtaking similarities to his script. Bucky the Wave Warrior, or Bucky, an animated feature he says was inspired by his unique exposure to Polynesian culture. Woodall is seeking at least $10 billion in damages and 2.5% of the gross revenue from Moana 2, and related merchandise, a sum he estimated to be at least $5 billion. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you straight up here. There is no way in hell Disney is going to pay this guy $5 billion or $10 billion. Ain't gonna happen. Honestly, it's never gonna happen. Because I'm telling you, if Disney decides to play wicked enough, like, assuming this is true, Disney decides to play wicked enough, they could drag this thing out for years in court. And I don't think, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but I'm just saying, I don't think he will have the funds necessary to keep this going. Because it's going to get expensive, and Disney has lawyers ready and willing to fight things like this just because. You get me? They will very well do this. They are that twisted. That's sort of what they do. You understand me? They're that wicked. That's what they're into. That's the kind of things that they do. So it is possible that if Disney decides to drag this out, they very well have the legal manpower to do it. So I'm telling you, ain't no way they're gonna pay him $5 billion or $10 billion. If they decide that they don't want the hassle, they might pay him something to shut him up and just bury that underfoot. But I'm telling you, ain't no way Disney is gonna pay this guy $10 billion or hell even $5 billion. That ain't gonna happen. And I think he knows that, but I probably just a legal maneuver to see and only negotiate long, but that's the thing. Both Moana and Moana 2 were runaway hits for Disney, with the sequel hitting the record for the biggest Thanksgiving weekend debut in box office history. It raked in $221 million in its 5-day domestic opening. So yeah, it's done a lot of things. In addition to Disney's production company, Mandeville Films, and former Mandeville exec Jenny Marchick currently head of feature development for DreamWorks Animation, and named as defendants, right? So that's what they're doing. The timing of the legal action is less than ideal for Disney. The studio is reportedly hoping Moana 2 will garner a Best Animated Feature Oscar nod when the Academy announces nominations, which was extended because of the devastating LA fires. We all know those LA fires were truly, truly terrible, and I hope everybody affected by them recovers, and people's homes were destroyed, and I pray for all. I know some lives were lost. Truly, truly terrible. Truly terrible. According to Woodall's lawsuit, the alleged similarities between the Moana movies and his script include a teenage protagonist on a dangerous voyage across Polynesian waters to save an endangered island, ancient spirits manifested as animals which guide and guard the living, a symbolic necklace central to the story, and a demigod with a giant hook and tattoos, among others. Okay, that really does sound like a report, man. Just say, if what he's saying is actually true, that really does sound like a bold-faced ripoff right there, because you literally have a teenage protagonist on a dangerous voyage across Polynesian waters, aka Moana, to save an endangered island, aka Moana's home. Ancient spirits manifested as animals which guide and guard the living. Yeah, her grandmother literally turned into a manatee and all this sort of stuff, and had spirits and all this other stuff in it. So yeah, a symbolic necklace central to the story. Yeah, that was the whole thing, the heart of Tafiti and all of that. And a demigod with a giant hook and tattoos, among others. Oh, come on. That even need explain. Yeah, that is something very, very, very suspicious right there. Very suspicious. Like really, really suspicious. Woodall claimed that he began sharing his ideas for Bucky with Marchek when she was at Mandeville Films in 2003. At the time, the company had a first look deal with Disney per the lawsuit. The filmmaker also alleged that over years of development, Marcher prodded him for more content tied to his Bucky concept, including an animated trailer, storyboards, and a full script, all of which he said he provided. On the eve of the release of Moana in 2016, Marchek allegedly told Woodall that she wasn't sure any of the materials he sent her made it beyond her desk, according to the lawsuit. However, Woodall contended that the content was already in Disney's hands when he submitted the final draft script for Bucky in 2011 to Marchek. In his lawsuit, Woodall claimed the materials he made for Bucky, including a trailer, were registered with the Writers Guild of America, and it received federal copyright protections in 2004 before being upgraded in 2014. So, okay, so if he does have copies or stuff of all that, like you said, he registered it with the Writers Guild of America and it had copyright protection. If he has all of that, he has a damn good case there. But again, Disney's not going to pay this man $5 billion unless something truly amazing happens and he happens to be the first person to really pants Disney. Well, then that is something to look forward to. But once he has all his documentation and everything, understand me, they could be in some serious trouble there. But again, Disney will fight this. The animator's complaint is his second against Disney over the Moana franchise. In November, a judge dismissed Woodall's previous suit over the first Moana movie, saying he filed too late. Huh. Okay, it's so weird. Woodall's allegations that some of his original material was copied and incorporated in Moana 2 has renewed his hopes for a legal showdown, given that the sequel was released only 2 months ago. Yeah. Now, this is really really surprising because if this turns out to be true, Disney pretty much did rip off this guy, and it's not even bloody funny anymore. This is really something to actually kind of be an eye opener here because once this guy has this stuff in mind, because what he's claiming is it is a blazing similarity to Moana, because what he's claiming there about the teenage protagonist, necklace, Polynesian, demigod with a hooks, spirits from animals, all of that is essentially case and point for Moana. So he has and once he has all his evidence to show that he has all of this, that is something to really make you get the eye opener about there. I mean, look at me wrong, as if before this is gonna fight this, but this is a real shocker. Now, it's not the first time that movies have been accused of ripping off one another, especially when it comes to animated movies. I mean, for instance, if you take a look at the animated movie Ants and A Bug's Life, they're pretty much the same thing. It's just that one was released beforehand. For instance, here, Ants and A Bug's Life may very well have been the catalyst for the curious feud running when Pixar and Disney released obviously similar movies at oddly similar times. Ants may have beaten A Bug's Life to the theaters, but when DreamWorks began working on their bug-based flicks, Pixar was already deep into production on theirs. So yeah, it pretty much is kind of similar because Ants essentially has the same premise as A Bug's Life. An odd misfit insect discovers that he is more than a faceless drone of an oppressive regime and goes on to great things. Yeah, it is pretty much the same thing. When you look at it, it's pretty much the same similarities between the movies. But it doesn't even stop there. I mean, even there's also a thing when it comes to, like, for instance, The Lion King. Because when you look at The Lion King, it's a ripoff of another movie. You understand me? And it's basically a ripoff of Kimba, the White Lion. It's pretty much similar to both of them, where a young lion goes on a quest and stuff like that. It is similarly. The manga and its anime were produced 30 years before The Lion King. Really, the only difference is that stuff like that. When you look at early screenings for the Lion King and how they had early drawings for it, it was brazenly similar to what this was. So it is quite showing you that certain things do happen. I'm not gonna get into whether one rip off the other, like that. That is a whole legal battle for them on their own. But I'm saying if this guy has his things to suit, you understand me? This is really, really something else here, because a lot of what he's putting out here is extremely, extremely similar to it. So it's very well possible that Disney may have ripped off Moana. I'm not saying it is, but this guy is going forward with his lawsuit. Once he has his materials to back it up, this could be an interesting showdown. To see if, to see that Disney really probably did rip off Moana. We don't know. We will see how this turns out. But I'm just saying, what he's stating in his suit is extremely familiar to Moana. It's basically just take for take from it. That's it. So we shall see who has the last song and dance when it comes to this. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like, give it to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.